I want to make sure that everybody understands how important school resource officers are in our schools. The school resource officers not only are in the schools as a leader and as a figure, they also develop relationships with the students that, as Hans was saying, can help head things off at the pass. There's been many stories where, because a student confided in a school resource officer, that things have been avoided. The importance of school resource officers was also brought to bear by the principals. There was a Zoom meeting a couple years ago where they had all of the principals in some of the local schools say that they wanted school resource officers in our schools. Unfortunately, the county council said, no, we're going to take school resource officers out of the schools. And that was, as I think we all see now, was truly a mistake. I think that we need to make sure that the gun laws that are on the books, that we accurately enforce them. As we all know, we have ghost guns are now illegal in Maryland. Having a gun that has a serial number taken off of it, that's illegal in Maryland. We need to enforce the laws that are there. And to help enforce those laws, we need to make sure that the police are properly funded, that they're properly trained, and that the men and women of law enforcement get the respect that they deserve. I want to be clear, part of my platform is to make sure that we properly fund the police. When we don't fund the police, as some people are doing right now, we end up with more carjackings, we end up with more violent crime. The statistics show that. Right now, if you look at the budget that's actually been published, it actually shows a reduction of $3 million on police patrol and actually a loss of 53 FTEs. So anyone who's saying we want to have more police protection, and they're on the county council and county executive, but yet they're cutting the police, they are actually defunding the police. I believe that we need to make sure that the pay for the police is what it needs to be. Right now, the starting salary, I believe, is about $56,000. That equates to about $26 an hour. So we're asking people to put their lives on the line for $26,000. They can go down and work for the Capitol Police and make $72,000 starting. I think the morale of the police, part of that comes from the top. If you're working for an organization that doesn't truly appreciate you and doesn't value you, you're not going to want to be there, you're not going to want to stay, and I think that has something to do with the lag in recruitment. Also, the accountability boards. There's accountability boards that that Montgomery County has put in play. I think if you're going to have the police being judged, it needs to be judged by a member of the police union or an active police officer. We can't have the police being judged on these accountability boards and accountability councils by people who have not actually done a citizens advisory ride along or are not really familiar with policing. I think to grow Montgomery County, we need to bring jobs here. We need to bring good paying jobs. That's the only way that we're going to increase our tax base and really grow the county. I think we need to look at both large businesses and small businesses, whether it be a unicorn company that Peter was talking about, or some of the larger companies that have unfortunately gone to Northern Virginia, whether it be Northrop Grumman, whether it be Clark Construction, which was a $4 billion company. I think we need to work towards getting all the possible companies here in Montgomery County. How do we do that? I think we need to change, I think the term you used, Chris, was business friendly. We need to make sure that if somebody's going to build something here, that they can get it through the permit office very easily. As a person who actually does that on a daily basis, there's a lot of possible improvement there. I think that we need to make sure we don't impose unnecessary regulations, such as the county council is now looking at various, I'll say, green initiatives, which are over and above what is being required in other jurisdictions. If you're a business and you say, do I want to go to Montgomery County or do I want to go to someplace where I can more easily get the work done? want to, where they're going to go to someplace where they can get the work done. I think we also need to focus on the very basics, such as things we talked about before, public safety. We need to make sure that if you're going to relocate your business here, that you and your workers feel safe. I think we need to work on our education system. Currently, we have schools like Watkins Mill High School, which is graduating 81% of their students, but only 3% are proficient in math per the U.S. News and World Report. So I think we have a lot of work to do, but I think it really starts at the top. You have to have a county executive that's going to have a pro-business attitude, and that's one of the things I want to bring to Montgomery County. Transportation is a bane to a lot of us who live here in Montgomery County. There's big ticket items and smaller items. Some of the smaller items might be getting White's Ferry open. I think we need to work together with Virginia to get White's Ferry open. I think we need to we need to build M83. We need another north-south corridor or pathway between Up County and Lower County. I believe we also need to take the money that the state is offering us and improve 270. I actually agree with Hans that we need to fix the American Legion Bridge, because that is the bottleneck. Once we increase the throughput on all those the northern roads, we really need to make the American Legion Bridge more usable. We need to consider selling bonds to make 270 wider above the ICC. And again, in the Purple Line, I think the Purple Line is really an opportunity. It's in play. We need to get through the contract issues and contract negotiations and get that rolling, because I do think that will open up a lot of transportation options throughout the county. A lot of the things that people have been quoting, I believe, are based on a Council of Governments study from 2019. Now, that was really pre-COVID, and I would offer that we need to relook at that. Why? Because we've learned that during COVID, people can and will work from home. We're going to have north of 30% of the people who used to come into the nice shiny office buildings are going to be working from home. I think it's especially true of some of the younger, more tech-savvy job positions and people. What that means is people can work in Montgomery County from Frederick, from Pennsylvania, from different parts of the country. So what that means is you don't necessarily have to live in Montgomery County to work here. So I think we need to take a look at that so we can really determine what the real need here is in Montgomery County. I do believe, from what I've seen, there is an issue with affordable housing. I don't think that some of the plans, the Thrive 2050, is a plan which is I don't believe it's going to work. I think we have builders like EYA that have shown that the cost after they take a building down and rebuild up a quadruplex, those units are going to not be affordable, and they're not going to meet the goal that people really want to achieve. Also, they're going to displace established homes, the Black and brown community that lived in these established homes. And I think that what we need to do is work towards building housing at various, like a metro stop, transit-oriented housing, so that we can have live, work, play zones where people can reach. I believe that that this issue was actually settled 30 years ago. I think it was called ballot question 6, and at the end of the day, it's the job of the county executive to uphold the law. So whatever the law is decided by the state of Maryland, that's my job to uphold the law. So I'm not going to engage in the hyperbole and everything's a crisis. My job, or anybody's job up here really, is to maintain and follow the law. I actually wrote a letter to the Board of Elections outlining 10 points that I wanted to see changed here in Montgomery County. It had to do with the elections, basically just like there's something called a ghost voter. There's voters, if you look at the voter rolls, there are inconsistencies in the voter rolls as they exist now. We have people who addresses that are going to post office boxes or UPS spaces, and there's people who are registered twice.